Hi everyone, how are you today? Do you have any questions? Why everything starts in April in Japan? I think if you have any friends in Japan, any colleagues or companies in Japan, you may notice that everything starts in April. April is such a special period for Japanese. Even for myself, like kindergarten, schools, a new company starts in April. Also, many of the company in Japan, their financial year is from April to March. I never thought about the reason why the Japanese starts in April, so I searched it and then I want to introduce the reason why we have this system. So there are some assumptions I can introduce to today. So we have to go back to more than 100 years ago. So we have, we always say that 2020, 1990, but at the same time, we have some specific name of era. So we have Edo era and Meiji era. I think Edo is really famous for shogun, the Japanese warrior. So if you know anything like shogun, it was happening in Edo era. So in Edo period, we close the whole country. We only open up the one port to import something, but we are really closed society at the moment. But in Meiji period, we open our country to foreigners, and then we import the many Western things, including educations, clothes, culture, even religious things. We import many things. So at the moment, then schools or companies, they don't have any specific period when they start, when they finish. So one of the reasons why we set up our financial year from April to March, so the Japanese government, they set up the financial period for the government from April to March in 1886. Because at the moment, we have the tax, but it was rice. So farmers harvest the rice in autumn time. It's normally in September or October. And then we convert it into the cash, and then they pay to the government as tax. So if the government set up their financial year start from January, it means they have to budget, they have to work on confirm everyone paid correctly, they have to confirm the budget for next financial year as the company right now. So they only have 3 or 4 months after they harvest the rice. So it was too short to confirm everything. That's why the government set up start from April to March. And then they have enough time to calculate that all the tax has been paid correctly, something like this. So this is one of the assumptions, the reason why the government set up from April to March. So government first, and then schools follow what government decide accordingly. And then now everything starts in April. Second assumption is that, I think it's kind of impossible for now to do this, but to eliminate the national deficit at the moment. After they opened the country to the foreign countries in Meiji era, they found that there were huge power gap between Japan and the Western country. So the government spent too much money or invest too much money to empower the nations like military, make it ourselves very rich, to make the strong. So they spend too much money and then they got deficit. At the moment, the financial minister, of course, during his period, he didn't want to have the deficit during his period. That's why he tried to eliminate the deficit. What he thought and what he did was, so he combined the next year first 3 months revenue to this year, and then he tried to make it. But if this is the case, for next year they only have 9 months to get the revenue, but somehow he did it forcefully. He made it for 9 months. So at the moment, the government, their financial year started from July to June, then 3 months shorter, then it became from April to March. This is another assumption. So for now, it's kind of impossible how he did it, but it was long time ago. Maybe he have enough power to do this. He did it, and then because they didn't have any like a Twitter or any SNS, Facebook, so maybe they could do it whatever they want. This is how we have new semester from April to March. So government policy first, and then accordingly, because the Ministry of Education is also belong to the government, so they also follow what they had. And then eventually, now without any thinking, we just start from April to March. But these days, because of the globalizations, we have many companies which their financial year start from January to December. And then some of the university, they start in the fall semester to follow with Western style. Because in the UK or European countries and then USA, they start from fall, like in September. So some of the university, they start in the fall time. However, because we still have majority, they start from April, so they have some problems to have a time gap, so we have to sort it out. But this is the reason why we start everything in April. This topic was not easy for me to explain in English, so I hope it was really good practice for me to explain those kind of things. But if you could understand my explanation in English, that would be great. If not, any advice, please let me know. Thank you for listening or watching this video. Bye bye.